So, the next talk will be presented by Cédric Ulmer, and it's going to be about end-to-end enterprise search with Datafari.
Okay, thank you. So, I have the immense privilege of having 25 minutes, and my laptop worked right away, so normally I finish on time. So I'm Cédric, I'm the president co-founder of France Labs. We are the software maker of Datafari, and so today we're going to talk about end-to-end enterprise search with Datafari Community Edition, because we have two editions. So the agenda, we'll talk a bit about France Labs, the organization, definition of enterprise search, because I'm not sure if we're all in line with what it means. Then we'll talk about Datafari, its architecture, the main functionalities, and some Gen AI. Like I was going to say that everybody mentions AI, but Passball did not mention AI, so it's an exception. Maybe did not have time to. So you ready? Yeah? Ooh, yeah. Well. Okay, thank you. So we were born 40. So who knew Datafari before? Thank you, XWiki. So that's good. So we are specialized in not being known. So that's, you see, for 14 years of existence, we released Datafari in 2015, November. We're based in Nice, on the French Riviera, with a swimming pool. We speak in many conferences related to search. That's why maybe you don't know who we are, Enterprise Search. We are involved in open source businesses, so we are part of the French cluster, French Association of Open Source Businesses and European Association of Open Source Businesses, respectively, CNLL and Appel, members of the search network and customers in weird industry sectors. So, no surprise, we're software maker of Datafari, so we provide expertise around it, and also on Apache Solr. So what is enterprise search? So I copy-pasted I'm quoting actually the definition from Martin White in his book Enterprise Search. Well, actually, that's the only serious book about enterprise search. So an enterprise search application enables employees to find all the information that the company possesses without the need to know where the information is stored. And I added, oops, sorry, I shouldn't hit the microphone, but securely, because most customers, they want security. And by security, I mean here respecting the access control to documents. So what does a typical enterprise search solution works? Well, it looks like a search solution, no surprise here. We'll detail a bit more what it does in Datafari, but yeah, it's a search bar, you search, you have autocomplete, you have facets to filter, and you have a results list. Okay, no surprise. And in addition, you have some monitoring like statistics, analytics, dashboards to see who searches for what. And how does that usually work? Well, there are several components from left to right. You have the crawling phase, where you connect to the data sources, the documents, where they are stored. You retrieve them, you open them, you analyze what's in it, you take the metadata, you take the content, you put it in an index, search index. Then you have the search component, which takes care of, in real time, analyzing the user's query, looking for the data in the index, and providing the results usually in a UI and also a component for statistics. Okay, so now you are experts in enterprise search. Yeah. Okay, so what the Datafari CE allows to do. So CE is the community edition, so because it's FOSDEM, I don't want you to throw rocks at me. So it allows you to crawl multiple types of documents, and I have some slides explaining a bit more what it does, and this is thanks to Apache Manifold CF, which is, to my knowledge, the only existing open source framework doing this type of stuff. We use Apache Chica, we'll see that afterwards. Datafari CE allows you to do some search using BM25, which is sequel to TF-IDF, and soon we will do vector search. I will talk about it later, and for that we use Apache Solr. You know Apache Solr? Really know, yeah? Good, some nodding here, so that's good. So you are able to do some analysis thanks to dashboards, and you're able to manage your tool with graphical user interfaces for administrators, for playing with the weights, doing some promo links. Well, I don't have time for that, but entity detection, etc. You can use the admin UI of Manifold CF and Apache Solr. So what does it not allow you to do? So I put easily, because we don't forbid anything. Okay, everything's open, so you can find the time to do it. It's just that in order to survive, this is the type of stuff that we put as extra in the Enterprise Edition. So you cannot easily manage security, and here I'm talking about access control, okay, permission, document level permissions, and to connect to Active Directory, Lemon LDAP, this type of stuff. Does not easily allow you to do big data search in the sense that if you need a cluster of Datafari systems with distributed components, this is not done automatically. There is no Ansible recipe or this kind of stuff. And it's not easy neither to do a backup. Well, unless, of course, if you are on the Docker and it's persistent, you can just save it. But and we don't prevent anything. Okay, so I hope you feel better now. So what does it look like in terms of architecture? So it's on our wiki. And yeah, so that's in the gray box. Okay, that's for the monolithic version of Datafari. So in the gray box, it's exposing its user interface to the users on the left, and we fetch the data which are on the right of the schema. So you can see we have some Apache, some Tomcat, some Zookeeper, some Solar, some Cassandra, some Postgre, Logstash for historical reasons, Tika, and I think I've mentioned all of them. It's really it's a big soup of stuff to manage and to deploy. So lots of fun when doing the deployment scripts, but we work it out. So the main components that we are using, so really the main ones would be Apache Manifold-CF, because that's the framework for crawling the documents. It's Apache Solar for the search part, and it's Apache Tomcat for our own Datafari web app. Okay, and we provide an admin UI to install, manage, and use. If we dig a bit into Manifold-CF, anybody knew Manifold-CF before? Yeah? No? Okay. Nobody cares about crawling, but it's an important step in... oops, did I skip it? So Manifold-CF allows you to connect to, I don't know, for instance, I put, file shares, Active Directory, Lemon LDAP, web, XWiki. I mean, I think almost many presentations today were mentioning XWiki, so I did my homework. We have a connector for XWiki. Yeah, you have a pipeline of transformation connectors to transform the data that you have extracted. Maybe you want to put some regular expressions to find entities. Maybe you want to prune out some particular document types. Or, yeah, I don't know, many things can be done in this pipeline. And then we push whatever has been analyzed into the Solar index. So that's for Manifold-CF. So you can see Manifold-CF as an octopus able to connect to many types of data management systems. It's also a manta ray. Yeah, nice images. I didn't draw them, but there are copy left, I think, I hope. I think the guy is dead 100 years ago, so that's fine. So it can open many formats thanks to Apache Tika, so PDF, obviously, LibreOffice, Microsoft Office, database tables, and many other types. So it was quick, but that's fine. So now you're experts in Apache Manifold-CF. Yeah, of course. Now about Solar. Solar, its job is to take what Apache Manifold-CF sends it and analyze it and create the Solar documents that it puts in the index. And its job is then at the search phase to answer very fast to the user's query and to deliver relevant documents classified. It's similar to OpenSearch if you just know OpenSearch. And for the analytics components, well, now it has become pretty easy what we do, because in the past we were using Elk, and then we were fed up with Elk, and then we used Zeppelin, and Zeppelin was, grassroots. So now we got rid of all that, and we take everything that's come from the logs of Apache Manifold-CF, of Apache Solar. We still have Logstash, we need to get rid of it, and we put it in a dedicated search collection of Solar. And this is how we feed our homemade dashboards in pure HTML. Also, we stop frameworks like Zeppelin. So if we detail a bit what you currently have with the Datafari UI, this is a screenshot of the version 2 of React UI. It's actually very similar to the previous one. So this isn't fair. It cost us a lot to do, but we forgot to modify the look and feel so that you have the feeling it's brand new. So it's brand new, but like the old one. So you have a search bar on top. When you start typing, you have this drop down that appears, or you can also remove it, but that's fine. You have the suggestions for queries, so standard autocomplete. You can have auto suggestions, which is proposing documents right away, and it can also add some suggestions based on specific fields. So if you have product numbers, for instance, it could propose you product numbers as autocomplete. So that's for the drop down. Then you can see a bit on the left the tabs, which allow you to filter based on a specific type of metadata that you want. You can also opt for facets. Any metadata can be a facet, basically, and you have different types of interactions with your facets. Can be the checkboxes, can be the time, the windows, for instance, for time window or price window, whatever you want. Or 15 minutes left. That's way too much. Thank you. I hope you have lots of questions afterwards. Otherwise, I will ask you questions. So this I covered. You have the search tools. I didn't put a screenshot about it, but you can export your search results. You can save your searches. You can have email alerts. So if you don't want every day to come to your corpus and ask that Datafari did a new document appear, then that Datafari will run these queries for you and send you an email saying, yeah, today there is something new for you. And you can do advanced search graphically to combine search for specific fields with Boolean operators. Okay, that's clear. You understood the user interface. No specific challenge normally, but we never know. And you can notice the little box, ask your content. It's a teaser because we'll go back to it a bit later, but you can see it's there. Ask your content. I'm saying this because now it's time to talk about AI. So historically, we could connect at the indexing phase to external third-party systems to do, translation or image analysis. In our case, most of the time, it was to do optical character recognition with Tesseract for image recognitions. And now it's kind of changing, and it's more focused on using Gen AI to do this type of stuff. So it's actually easier for us. And so we can connect at indexing time and at search time. And at search time, it's more for the vector search and the RAG. And I will explain a bit more the RAG afterwards. These R&D activities are actually not co-founded, but co-funded by the European Union. More precisely, an NGI search project called Neural Datafari Project, and you can be amazed by the logo, which is a great logo. And the end-to-end prototype is planned for the end of this quarter, so I think we need to hurry for that. This EU project is done in collaboration with SEASE, S-E-A-S-E, a company in the UK, more precisely Alessandro Benedetti, who is a committer in Apache Solar, and actually yesterday evening he did the second pull request on Solar to add the embedded call of the embedding model in Solar. So the PR has been done, now it's waiting for reviews, which means that from now on in Solar, independently from Datafari, you just need to push a document, activate a parameter, say which model you want, and Solar will take care of doing the embedding. Until yesterday, it was not the case. Until yesterday, you had to do the embedding externally, and then Solar was able to do the vector calculations and vector management, but not the embedding itself. So it's quite fresh, actually. So RAG, what does it look like? So we're going back to the user interface, and so the little box I showed you on the lower right, if you click on it, it's a chatbot. I'm sure it's not really a surprise for anyone, but so what does it allow you to do? You can ask your content. So the first mechanism is the typical RAG, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Everybody's familiar with RAG? Yeah, okay, I have some handshake, okay, I will take it as a yes for everybody. So we go through RAG for all of the content, but you can also ask questions for a specific document. So in the search results, you can notice that there is a little ask with AI button. So if you click on it, the chatbot changes and allows you to ask questions only for this particular document. Because we have customers, they have documents which are 6,000 pages long, which is not a good idea actually. I think they should do several books, but okay. And at least with that, you can ask a question only for that. And we have added also quick actions. So it's prepared actually prompts, for instance, to do the summarization of a specific document. And then you can decide, you can create your own quick actions. This is meant for this purpose. So what is RAG? So I know you said you knew, but just behind the scenes. So it's standard. So I did the drawings. Okay? I hope you're amazed. Okay, I'm really proud of them, especially the brain. That's amazing. So the user does a query. He's happy before doing the query, but so Datafari does a vector search, thanks to the Solar pull request I mentioned. We have a dedicated collection composed of many chunks of the vectors coming from the documents that have been indexed. We classify them, we take the top n depending on the context capabilities, and we ask the Gen AI, please answer to the user's query using only these chunks as a context to the prompt. You can either ask an on-site or a cloud-trained LLM as long as it's compatible with OpenAI API interface. For instance, Mistral IA, okay, to promote some French innovation. I don't know, is there still a German one? I think it collapsed, no? The German LLM. No, you don't know. There is no German in the room, so that's fine. No, there's no. Good, perfect. And then the LLM generates a nice answer and Datafari takes it and generates the user interface. Okay, so this is the way it will work now that we have the Solar Vector part. So why do we do RAG? Well, why not proposing customers to train their own LLM? So these are the rationales for the Enterprise Edition, and this is the rationale for the Community Edition. So the Enterprise Edition is because if you train an LLM with a corpus of documents, the LLM does not care about permission level systems. It will just generate the statistics of words, and it will create an answer out of the complete corpus. So you will disclose confidential information to potentially to an employee. So you can't do that. And with RAG, because we have this first step of doing the vector search based on the documents that Solar manages, we do filter out the documents that the users are not allowed to see, and this way the answer generated is only based on what the user is allowed to see. But for the Community Edition, it's not easy to manage modifications in an LLM when you train it. Imagine you have trained it with documents, and now the documents need to be modified. You cannot just say to the LLM, forget this document, and here is a new version. So, okay, there are many things to do. The most basic one being to retrain everything, which is something you may not want to do. So I hope you're amazed by my roadmap compatible with the EU. So that's the roadmap for 2025. Q1, it's a Retrieval-Augmented Generation prototype. As I said, the last PR was done yesterday, so normally everything is almost ready on Datafari side, so it should be complete in time. Second quarter, we'll finalize the transformation connectors. Okay, transformation connector are for the manifold CF pipeline, so it will allow you to easily say, I want to have classification, I want to have entity extraction, I want to have translation, this type of actions when you do the indexing phase. Second quarter as well, we provide vector search instead of BM25, so for the results list. So you will be able to choose either the good old BM25 or the vector search. And then in Q3, you will have the hybrid search. Are you familiar with hybrid search? Yeah, one is, okay, good. But the hybrid search is you do actually two queries. You do a BM25, so it's base query. At the same time, you do a vector search query, and you merge the results into just one results set. And we will be using RRF, reciprocal rank fusion. It's always hard to say. Right, okay, RRF as an algorithm. And 6 minutes 30 of questions because you're all eager to ask questions. So you can go on our website for the downloads. I forgot, so it's Apache licensed, okay, in Java. I hope you're not allergic to Java. If you are Docker lovers, you can use the container on Docker Hub. That's probably the quickest way for you to play with it. Lots of documentation. Okay, we are now, I think we have 300 pages of documentation. So some of them are maybe deprecated, but we are not aware of. So if you end up with issues, the best is probably to ask us, you do a GitHub discussion or GitHub issue, and you say, it's a documentation really? Like, okay. We do our best, but it's not easy. So the code is normally on our GitLab, but we have a mirror on GitHub. But all the projects are on GitLab, and yeah, the main one is on GitHub. And the LinkedIn account if you want to follow our amazing activities, because we just recruited a marketing and intern. So these days we have lots of LinkedIn contributions. So if you want to follow, that's the 6 months they should follow the France Labs. And I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cédric. Do we have any question? 5 minutes.
do you have a connector for Nextcloud to import the documents?
No, in the sense that it's easy. I mean, to have one without permissions, it's easy because you just need to you create an account, Nextcloud account with full access to everything, and you index the mirror, which is local. But for doing it with the access control, so we asked to a company specialized. They told us it would not be expensive to do, but we don't have the money for that. So yeah, it's doable. Probably less than 10,000 euros, but not enough. But yeah, that would be easy.
Thank you. Other questions?
Is the index only updated through crawling, or is there some in a passive way, or is there some active way? Like if a document changes in one source, the source can notify the search engine to re-index it?
Well, I mean, for CF, well, initially it was thought to be both push and pull. They have implemented just the interface for the push. Okay, so for now it's pull. So we fetch the data regularly with crawl, periodic crawls that you can configure, but there is no implemented.
And you always crawl everything?
No. This depends on the API. So file shares, for instance, yes, it crawls everything. Although we have an agent for the SMB shares on Windows that monitors at a low level, at the OS level modifications. This allows us to do real delta in file shares. But for instance, for XWiki, which is an amazing wiki, the API gives us the delta. So it's really fast. We don't need to recrawl everything.
Do you have a strategy how to deal with images and LLMs?
Well,
I mean, let me rephrase that. I mean, first, there seem to be several strategies how to index images. So do you have any plans for that? And the second thing is you could also consider images in the content in the for the chat. So something you plan or you do?
Yeah, you mean as an input, like the user puts an image in the chat?
No, I mean if the content, for example, references an image, or if the document you index contains an image, you could provide the image to the LLM. I mean, we have multiple.
Yeah. So this is so that's way further than the 2025 roadmap. Is how to handle multimodality. So we have looked very briefly at Colpali, for instance, for those of you who follow multimodal models. But yeah, the grail, the holy grail of indexing these days is how to be able to really properly manage multimodal documents, like a document which has a graph, an image, text, formulas, etc. There are ways for now, but considering where we are, it will take some time. But yeah, the aim is you have a first pass when you do the indexing, where you take everything as an image, basically, even if it's text. Everything is an image, and you have one LLM dedicated to detecting the types of modalities. Okay, and he says, okay, here there is a formula, and he calls an LLM dedicated to analyzing formulas. It stores as a metadata a summary of what it has analyzed. So like this formula talks about this and that, this image talks about a cat, etc. And we store all that. And then when the user asks a query, a text query, so it's in the future, when the user will ask a query, we will look in this text description of the different modalities, which ones would satisfy what the user asks. Okay? And then it will call the proper LLM specialized. So let's say I have a document where I have my financial statements as a table for the last 2 years, and the question is, what is the financial revenue expected for the next 2 years? Obviously, the dream is that the LLM, the system will choose the LLM specialized in the graph analysis and then do the computation for the forecast, because obviously this is where it stands. So that's the goal. The pieces are more or less there, but I heard that Colpali generates so many vectors for one single page that it would completely destroy the scalability for now. So it's ongoing work, but not there yet. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other question? We have time for one more. No? Okay. Then thank you very much.
Thank you very much.